Cuento Crimen podcast. We are a true crime podcast, and these are cases that don't get much media attention, so chances are you haven't heard of some of these cases. Come join us every Wednesday for a new true crime case. Hey everyone.
Hola a todos.
This is Jahaira.
And this is Stephanie. And welcome back to Cuento Crimen Podcast.
Woo. It was like such a lame woo. But anyways, thank you all for coming back to another one of How I Almost Got Kidnapped. As you can see, this is not the Cuento Crimen studio that we're so used to seeing in the background. And that's because Steph and I are currently very far away from home. We are in Nashville, Tennessee. Do you want to tell them why?
We are here for Crime Con. We are so excited to be here because we got invited to table, and it's been a good experience meeting a lot of new people and a lot of creators that we listen to.
Yeah.
And seeing them in person, it's kind of like kind of fangirling, you know. But it's been such a good experience to put the podcast out there.
It's just making like new connections, and you know, we've came across people saying, oh, we're looking for something like this, and it's just like, yes, our community is growing, it's expanding, and like that was one of our goals when we initially created Cuento Crimen. So
yeah, and then we've also met people who are willing to try to listen to Cuento Crimen and learn Spanish off of Cuento Crimen, or like as an additional tool, you know, to try to learn. So that was pretty cool too, seeing how other people are like, oh, like I'll check you guys out.
Yeah.
So pretty cool.
It was just really cool overall. It was a really, really cool experience and a beautiful place. So yeah, we are very grateful to be here.
Yeah. It's kind of crazy.
Oh, look, we'll show you guys. Today was the last day that we're recording, so we were able to bring our sign. I mean, it's pretty plain, but you know, it says...
We're proud.
Yeah, we're proud. It says CrimeCon Nashville 2024, and that's our name right there. Cuento Crimen.
That's crazy. Seeing that sign and being able to take it home, even though it's like just a paper.
Yeah.
But it's like, we started...
Well, it's not a paper. It's like a cardboard.
Okay, so it's like a good quality.
Yeah. So...
but like, I don't know, just seeing it, it's kind of crazy.
Yeah. It's just...
like we started with like a phone recording, you know?
Yeah, that is true. With a tiny little desk.
Yeah, and like we made a whole trip.
Yeah.
Because of the podcast.
It's really cool. Maybe next video we'll be back in the studio and that sign will be boom right there on the wall. So yeah. But yeah, it's like I said, we're very grateful to have had this experience, and we're like, we have to record. We have to record here. I mean, it's a pretty cool place. So yeah. Are we ready?
I'm ready
to jump in.
Yeah, go take it away.
All right. So the first one that we have is anonymous. And oh my God, I just like read the first line and it already gave me like chills. So the first line says, I miss my kidnapper. And then it's like, you know, I mean, I don't know what kind of miss, but you know, there's like a thing where you can fall in love with the person who kidnapped you, like in Beauty and the Beast. I think it's called Stockholm Syndrome. I want to say, correct me if I'm wrong, please, because I've believed that that's me. So don't let me keep going with that. But okay, so I miss my kidnapper. My tia, my aunt from my father's side, was visiting us in Texas from Mexico. She was helping around the house, taking care of me and my siblings while my parents worked. It honestly was a lot of help. I can imagine. She held my family for 8 months. My tia was in her 40s and she didn't have a family of her own. I was 4 years old, my brother was 11, and my sister was 7. So they were pretty young, 4 years old. One day, she told my siblings that we would be back shortly. From what they have told me, she told me that we were going to pick up some ice cream. But instead, she took me to Mexico without my parents' permission. That is very worrisome because even though that's their tia and like someone that obviously they trust, like taking a child out of the country without parents' permission.
Yeah.
It's kind of like red flag.
It's like red flag and like illegal too to take someone out of the country. So
it is.
I don't know if we have a date. I wonder if that plays a role, like if this is a long time ago. And yeah.
That is actually a good point.
I wonder if like it was by car or a walking because you can also walk.
True. Depending on the location.
Yeah.
Yeah. I don't know. Maybe my best guess would probably be maybe driving because it's just probably easier to just, like the
But I wonder,
Tijuana
honestly, I have terrible memory, but I think they ask for,
identification.
yeah. I don't know, it's odd. I don't know.
Yeah.
I wonder if like having the same last name.
I don't know.
I
Or
don't know.
maybe
Yeah.
her tia did have the documentations needed.
Yeah.
I mean, she was there at their house taking care of them. So
Lots of questions.
yeah. Okay, so it keeps going. I remember we were in a motel, but I do not know how long. I remember we were making sandwiches inside of the motel room and we wouldn't go out much. She would tell me that my parents were coming to pick me up. I tried asking more questions, but she would tell me to shut up. Like always, they just want to quiet the kids. We finally took a bus to my abuelo's house in Sinaloa. So a bus ride to Sinaloa.
Oh,
so I
okay.
wonder, because Sinaloa is up north, right?
Yeah.
So it's very close. Maybe they did drive and then from there. I don't know. A lot of questions. So as soon as we arrived, I saw that they were surprised but relieved. The next day, my parents flew in to pick me up. We no longer talk to my tia, and she now lives in Sinaloa. It's strange. I miss my kidnapper, but I can't tell my parents. It's weird because she took care of me and my siblings, and she's family. But I understand what she did was wrong. She didn't harm me physically, but she put me and my entire family through it.
That's crazy. I think the line that gets me is I miss my kidnapper, but I can't tell my parents. Because it's like what she did is wrong. Like, why would you miss her?
Yeah.
But it's like she's also family and like convivieron. So it's like kind of a strange feeling.
And I mean, also, like, this took place when they were 4 years old. So as a 4-year-old, you're not really gonna remember every single detail, right? So even though like they vaguely remember like the gist of what was happening, I feel like they don't truly understand like or comprehend the
motive
or like how severe it could have been.
How severe, yeah.
And so I think that's why it must be hard. Like obviously now, if depending on how old they are, like being a grown up, you probably maybe start adding one and one together. But it's just like because of how it was back then in your memory as a child, it doesn't hold like the same significance or meaning. It's a lot of mixed emotions.
Yeah, that's a wild story.
And it's a lot, yeah. But I mean, I don't know. And also the other thing that I was questioning was when they say that when they arrived to their grandparents' house, like both grandparents seemed very surprised but relieved.
Oh, yeah.
Right? So it kind of, I don't know, it makes me think that maybe the parents called the grandparents and said like, hey, she took the kids. And then the kids finally get over there and like, oh, okay, like the kids are safe.
Like
they're
she
here.
took them there versus somewhere else,
Yeah. And then also, me with other questions, right? But like another question is, why did she take them though? Like, did she, because, right, they mentioned how she didn't have a family of her own. So it's like, was she trying to kind of take them from her parents and then she's like, oh, hey, like I'm your new mom now? Or was it more like malicious intentions?
Yeah. So many questions.
Yeah. But anyways, thank you for sending us your story.
So this next one is a story that we found on Reddit. And so I'm going to go ahead and read it. Okay. It goes like this. Oh, username is SIDJO86. I don't know if we've been saying usernames before. I think maybe.
I don't remember.
Okay, well,
I mean, y'all probably don't know, but most of those videos were like recorded when I was still pregnant. I'm not pregnant anymore. So it's been a while.
It's been a while. Yeah, that's why we can't remember.
Yeah.
But to give credit to the user, that is their username. And so they wrote, mine happened when I was about 8. I was standing in front of the gate of my house and talking about video games with my friend, who lived 2 houses down from me. While we were talking, a stranger walking by with a sleeveless shirt, torn jeans, and lots of tattoos looked straight at me. As he was walking by, he told me to shut up. I stared at him like a confused child would for longer than I should. as he was continuing to walk away. My friend went to his house to retrieve the games we were talking about, so I stood outside my house waiting for him. After a while, I noticed the same stranger walking back towards me. I didn't think much of it until he was only a few feet away. He suddenly lunged towards me and grabbed my feet. I held onto the fence as tightly as I could, screaming for my mom in a way that I have never screamed her name before. He let go and took off. My mom came running out of the house and frantically asked me what was happening. I told her through my tears, and she ran back into the house and grabbed the biggest butcher knife she had and told me to stay behind her. She ran up and down the block looking for this guy, but never found him. P.S. My mom is 5'3" and weighs probably about 130 pounds.
Also, that's me. Wow, that's intense.
That's intense to pull someone and like they're holding onto the fence.
Yeah.
Like that seems like a whole like scene, you know?
I mean, the part that says I was screaming for my mom in a way that I had never screamed her name before.
Yeah.
Because of the fear.
Mm-hmm.
Like, we always hear about these situations, and like obviously we know that it's like happening, and it probably happens every single day, unfortunately. But I feel like to find yourself in that actual situation, living it,
Mm-hmm.
like for me personally, I would lose it.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, well, obviously, right? But like, I feel like I understand what he's or what they are trying to say by like, I've never screamed like that.
That's, yeah.
Because you're in survival mode. Like, you don't know who this person is.
Mm-hmm. And because of that, like his mom came outside really quick, you know?
Yeah.
And also like the ending is also a scene like walking, you know, up and down the street to try to find him with a butcher knife, you know?
Yeah. But the fact that they never found him.
I know.
That's scary. It's super scary, like just knowing that these are just people, like random people that could just be walking down the street or right next to you, and you have no idea.
Mm-hmm.
I have no idea. This, I don't know why, but this kind of reminded me. I mean, I obviously don't know who wrote this, but like in my head, I'm envisioning like a little boy,
Mm-hmm.
and it's really like, I don't know. It just reminded me of the movie. I don't know if y'all watched it, The Black Phone. And I think I recommended the movie a while ago on the podcast because it's such a good movie. Like while I was watching the movie, I feel like I knew what he felt. Like I felt the frustration for him, like the unsureness, and just like, I don't know. It's a really good movie. If you have not watched it, I definitely recommend it. It's called The Black Phone. And it's very intense, and it's very real, and it's very raw. And I don't like, it's crazy. You guys are thinking about
Yeah. I did watch the movie. It's a really good movie, so I do recommend too. But yeah, these stories are scary because like what if something went wrong, like maybe that guy would have been successful in taking him, you know?
Yeah.
So it's crazy.
It's all in a second, because if his mom maybe did take 2 more seconds, he could have like actually grabbed him and just taken him with him. Glad that was not the case.
Yeah.
And that's always kind of a relief. Like, whew, like it was like the climax, but then it's like they're safe.
Yeah.
And it didn't happen. So that's the good part. But still, just I feel like all of these stories are reminders to just keep on your toes. Always be aware of your surroundings. And as sad as it sounds, never let your guard down.
Yeah. So yeah, that is all that we have for this episode on YouTube.
It feels weird how to say that.
Yeah. But yeah, if you're new and if you're watching from CrimeCon, please go check out the other episodes on Spotify, Apple Podcasts. And then we also have some here on YouTube. So if you're more of a visual audience, like we have some here too. So yeah.
Well, thank you all so much. And we will see you all on the next one. Bye.
Bye.